Hi and welcome back to Paw Creations tutorial videos. Today I'm going to show how I assembled my doll-size Cradleboard. The board was cut out of plywood and the holes were pre-drilled, and the pattern for the body and the hood I cut out of newspaper. And then I'm using a heavy brown denim fabric with a native design cotton liner. I outlined the board onto the fabric and cut about 1/4 of an inch wider than the board, and I sewed all the way around the sewing machine foot length away. Make sure you have the needle down. It turns that corner, makes it straight across, and you continue sewing all the way around, leaving the top open so you can slide it over the board like a sleeve. I'm going to cut a diagonal across the corners so that it will fit better when you put it onto the wood form. Be sure you're not cutting your seam. And you're going to turn it right side out, and you'll be able to see those holes and feel them through the fabric once you get it on. You just slide it over onto the board and fit it. So it should just fit right on. Sewing foot length away from the outline you drew, and just situate the fabric onto the wood form and getting the seam situated so it's all facing one way, so it won't be lumpy and it'll look better. Just feel that in there, and then you'll sew up the top, and that just fits it to the board. So you sew the liners to the denim, and I snip the rounded corners so that when I turn it right side out it lays flatter and will look better. And you might have to, I have a stabilizer on the back side of the cotton fabric to make it a little more stiff. Might have to roll the fabric so you're getting the seam flat and all the way out. And that's basically creating the form, and you're going to sew it together at the bottom, and then it'll fit, and then you'll be able to find the holes where they're at to poke lace the leather through to connect the pieces to the board. And the hood will also get laced with a separate string with the holes that go around. And now we're going to sew up the opening at the top, and I'm using a invisible stitch. You're going to pull one side of the fabric over the board and then fold over the other side. You make a stitch on one side and pull it tight, and then on the other side of the fabric where the stitch ended before is where you'll start the stitch on the other side, and you just go back and forth, and that sews up the opening there and puts invisible so you can't see it. And then you're gonna, that stitch on the other side starts where the other one ended. And you just continue that all the way across the top of the board and closes up that gap. Or closes up the whole the fabric. Start the next stitch where the other one ended. That just continues on. You tie the knot at the end, kind of hide it into the seam. And you'll sew the pieces together, and then you'll lace the pieces to the board through the holes that are pre-drilled. I use my sewing awl to poke the holes in there, and then a large tapestry needle to sew it, pull it through. This sort of leather strip around the body of the form, so that it just looks nice. It just got a visible blind hem stitch to sewing it on the inside, and then I sewed it down all the way around on the outside. Then I punched holes in for the lacing, and then the bottom is the string that laces up. The design I put on is made of felt, and I used some gold rhinestone banding and beads of the same color as the belt to put on there. And then to lace it up, the string is on the bottom. There's 4 holes punched for the lacing string to go in. That pulls the bottom together like an accordion to snug up. So you tie the tail ends that were left at the top, and then you're just going to pull that tight at the bottom, and then just lace that string back and forth. And just lace it all the way up to the top. And once you get that laced all the way to the top, you're just going to pull that down and secure it to the bottom. Just slip knot it and secure it there, and it just holds in there. And that is the doll size cradle board that I made. And so if you have any questions, just make sure you email me at cradleboardcreations@gmail.com, or feel free to stop by and join our group, Creation Corner on Facebook. It's a beading circle group, or you can visit my website at www.quinwapawcreations.com. Thanks for stopping by. Bye. See you next time.